Hell unit active. Restraints released.
Can you hear me, machine?
Affirmative.
Ghostrunner was originally released in 2020 on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. In 2021, it received native current-gen versions on PS5 and the Xbox series of consoles. They introduced higher frame rates, resolution, and ray tracing for the consoles. Ghostrunner Project Hell, released last year, serves as a prequel DLC that gives more context to the world and base game of Ghostrunner through the eyes of a new protagonist. In Ghostrunner Project Hell, you play as Hell, a boss from the main game and one of Mara's main tools in dismantling the resistance that's forming against her. Of course, given that this is DLC, it does make sense to play the main game first, though it technically isn't necessary. But if you're looking for that review, it will be linked in the description. Gameplay here remains largely the same as the original, but this time you have a slightly altered moveset given the new player character. Hell has her own skill set and sets herself apart from Jack in a few different ways. A major change comes in the way of mobility. When you jump, you can adjust where you land, which leads to more accurate movements and more satisfying kills as you can reposition yourself midair. Additionally, Hell's skill set really comes into its own because of her rage. Rage gives you access to different abilities such as having a deflector shield, which blocks one attack, or being able to launch a slash at your opponents. The deflector shield is only available when Hell's rage meter is above 50%, and it will automatically deactivate once the rage meter drops below that threshold. Your rage meter is filled by defeating enemies, which lends to the fast-paced action.
Bakunin, lay down your weapons and surrender.
I refuse.
Good.
Project Hell also gets rid of some of the most annoying parts of the base game, namely the otherworldly experiences Jack had that took you out of the action. While of course it wouldn't necessarily make sense for them to be here, their removal is a blessing and allows for Project Hell to double down on what Ghostrunner does so well, and that's pure gameplay. Boss battles return and now have more incremental stages, which is a great improvement over the base game for players like myself who aren't great and sometimes get frustrated when I die over and over again. Project Hell only took me a couple of hours to beat, and a lot of that time was spent dying. After going through a quick training tutorial to get used to the new mechanics, you're then sent to the upper levels by Mara to put an end to the rebellion. You'll be chasing down dissidents while revisiting some familiar areas. These interactions provide some decent context for what happened prior to the base game, but it's also one of the weaker parts of the DLC in my opinion. The rebellion leader doesn't seem too keen on leading, and really isn't taking anything seriously. As a DLC, Ghostrunner Project Hell does what I would expect from a well thought out mate sequel. It improves upon the base game in so many aspects while still keeping the core of Ghostrunner intact. While the story is a bit of a letdown as far as I'm concerned, everything else featured here was a great improvement, and if you own Ghostrunner, Project Hell is an easy recommendation and brilliantly sets the stage for the future of the series. If you like this video, consider subscribing and checking back weekly for more content just like this.